Welcome back to Day Trade Like a Pro. It is Monday, April 12th. We're going to jump over here and look at the S&P 500. This is the post-market review. Couple of things I want to point out today. We actually talked about in the pre-market video, we talked about a pullback down to '08 and then down to, I think I said 0650. This first pullback was '08 half. So let's just, let's pick up from where we were with the pre-market. We said they need to get up above that 20 half to 22 quarter area. The first move here on the open was for this CP. It took that out by one tick. What's remarkable about this is that we actually gave you this price on Friday after the close, and then look at how it sold off from here on Monday. Pretty amazing. We had the CP here at 09 half, but we said probably more like 05. And I believe that was coming right into the open, and I said probably a pullback down into here at least. So this was actually a trade we had in the live trade signals. We bought here and we covered it at 14. I eventually was looking for a move back to 21 plus, but given how slow the day was, I said let's go ahead and just cover it all at 14. So relatively quick, easy trade. We bought it here, and within about 10 minutes or so, we had covered for profit from '08 to 14 area. So pretty quick, easy trade there. And then '07 was an unofficial buy that we had in the live trade signals, and that ultimately did get back there. So this deeper pullback happened just like we said. And then look at what the high was. If you go back and you look in the video, we said 22 quarter, they'd have to take that out. This swing high, which at the time was an all-time new high. So if we go back to Friday, that was the all-time high prior to that. And then they came here and hit 22 quarter. Where did 22 quarter come? It's the 38% fib level. And no, that's not some kind of a magic fib or something. And the reason these really even work like this is because it's in between. We drew it in between these CPs. That gave us 22 quarter. That held to the tick. Okay. So then what happened? They pulled back. There was an opportunity you could have bought here at 11 half. And then we said if they didn't take this out, this would be the first thing really to take out. They'd need to take this out to open the door up for higher. So let's look at what happened. They came up, tested it to the tick, and then came down, held here to the tick at '09 half, and then that thing ripped into the close, which was really nice. It got all the way back here. It got all the way up to 2450. Now, if you remember, going into this, we said up to the CP, but ultimately 31 plus, something like that, going into the going on later in the day there. So let's look at what's happening. So far this CP at 19 is holding things up as support here, but it hasn't been able to get through that. So relatively lackluster day, but this move here into the close, kind of interesting. Big wick up, big wick down, and then a big wick up at the top. So we at a minimum still, well, look, I mean, it's going to depend. We could talk a little bit about tomorrow. So I think the best trade of the day, I wasn't around for this, but I think the best trade of the day was buying this right here. And a close second would have been selling up around 22. And so those were probably the two best trades of the day. Actually, I take that back. I think probably the best trade of the day was the one that we had in the live trade signals, which was buying '07. That became unofficial once we had this one and it went to there, and the first target was achieved, so we made this unofficial. And then this was actually so best trade of the day, and then I'd say second best trade of the day as far as setups go. Um, but this is a great trade. This is an A plus trade. This is an A plus trade. I love the short up here. It's just that it was against the overall bigger picture. So for that, it gets kind of docked some points. But this was a good setup, and this was a great setup because basically this area needed to hold at that point on that pullback, and it did hold to the tick. And so that was great. And then, but overall, fairly lackluster. I mean, we had a low overnight in Globex at 04.5 and then a high at 24.5. So about 20 points overall for the range, which is not a lot for what we've been seeing on some of these days in the S&P. So a little bit lackluster. Let's go do something here. Let's look at tomorrow real quick. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this. By the way, if you're not subscribed to the channel, you're missing out on getting the notifications of when we're going live and doing these. So that means you're missing out on the morning and you're missing out in the afternoon or the evening when we're doing these. So go ahead and subscribe, and that will help. You'll know that. Okay, so here's an interesting thing. There's this kind of period where prediction points for tomorrow and prediction points for today kind of mesh together. And so look at how well the prediction points. So there's yesterday's obviously were really great on this day. Look at how well tomorrow's prediction points, and you notice how late in the day it is. It's actually um, the cash close is over here, and then you actually after that. So it's just really interesting as it gets later in the session. Sometimes we see this. So this is kind of interesting what we have going on right here. This will be an interesting area right here to see if they can hold here, maybe giving that just a little bit of room down into here. Ideally, they would hold that, and if they cannot hold that, then it starts to open the door up. Remember, we talked about 75, yeah, 74, so that's 73.50. That really opens the door if, I mean, it's Globex, so we can't put too much weight on exactly what happens, but definitely interesting to pay attention here. Overall, if they can hold and they can keep pushing higher, then we've got some room for sure. Maybe the midpoint up here, something like that. So we'll just kind of see how that goes. We'll be back obviously in the morning, but kind of a lackluster day, but still this was nice. Held within a couple of ticks of where we said. And then this push up here tested where we said to the tick, which was a new all-time high. And then this one pulled back to the CP from the day and pushed to a new all-time high. So we'll see how this plays out overnight. I'll be back doing the pre-market walkthrough in the morning. Again, subscribe to the channel. And if you haven't taken the trial prediction points, you can find the link below the video and you can do that. And we will see you in the morning.